Welcome back to WindleyMania. My name is Andrew, and with me, as always, is man's best friend, Devin Hopkins.
Why do you keep calling me that?
Because you're man's best friend, man. You are. How are you doing, though? What's going on?
Boy, I'll tell you how I'm doing.
How you doing? Good?
I'm doing. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. This is WindleyMania. I don't really know what this podcast is. We're in a band, and we talk about things.
But yeah, it ends up being movies.
A lot of movies, and actually, the next few episodes are going to be movie related. We're going to be looking at not necessarily live action remakes, but I guess one of them is a live action remake. But it's not really a remake.
Yeah, it's like a live action, version.
So. They're all sort of just versions. They're not really remakes.
Yeah, it's just additions of it.
But the live action remake, it's like it's been taking storm recently.
Yeah, Disney's
for a while.
They're really going nuts with it.
Yeah, everything. The Pinocchio. Did you watch the Pinocchio?
No.
He's looking at. I only saw an image from Pinocchio where he's looking at poo.
Like fecal matter?
Yeah, Dookie.
I didn't know if you were talking about the bear.
No, the bear does not show up. That's the only good. I think that Christopher Robin movie is really good. Did you ever see that?
It looked like it was pretty good.
Yeah,
I didn't watch it though.
That one's actually the best of all these weird experiments. But people clamor for it for some reason.
Yeah,
It's sort of it's almost like they're saying yeah. This is animation is second rate shit, Mm-hmm. Forget about it.
That's what they're trying to do. But even they're pretty much animating the shit anyway. It's all it's all green screen and CGI and shit. So why not just make it fucking animated?
I don't know. But that's kind of what it feels like to me. Just now we're gonna make it for real this time.
Yeah, this is what we wanted to do.
We wanted Danny DeVito in a little top hat.
We had to have that.
Yeah. We wanted Pinocchio gawking at some poo.
We wanted Tom Hanks to be in all of them.
Is he in all? He's in the Robert Zemeckis ones. He was on the Polar Express. He plays Geppetto.
Yeah, he does play Geppetto.
He's I can't think of another one he's in.
I don't know. It just seems like he's in every movie lately.
He's in a lot of movies.
Yeah,
movie? You know what he's in?
Is it Bridge of Spies?
He's in Bridge of Spies.
Yeah, he's in Bridge of Spies. He's also in Toy Story.
They're gonna. You think they'll?
Yeah,
do
I was gonna do a live action Toy Story. Will they have Tom Hanks in a fucking cowboy suit?
Yeah.
And Tim Allen in a space costume.
They're not gonna get Tim Allen. I don't think.
Because he's Tool Man.
I don't think they'll get him. I think they'll recast.
Who would they get?
The kid. First of all, the kid from Stranger Things plays
of course.
Woody.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't even care which kid, just one of the kids. He's Woody now.
And then the other kid from Stranger Things is Buzz.
Yeah.
Then the other Winona Ryder is Andy's mom.
Mm-hmm.
Because she's in Stranger Things. I don't know who Hopper would be. I don't know David Harbour. Who's David Harbour? David Harbour is the mean kid that lives next door.
Sid?
Yeah. He's a grown man.
He's tormented.
He's messing with toys in his, house.
Yeah, and then Don Cheadle plays Andy. My toys have come to life. I can see him saying that. But, okay, so live action stuff. We're talking about Fat Albert. The 2004 live-action version of Fat Albert starring one Kenan Thompson.
Yeah. And then a lot of other people that I couldn't recognize from anything else. I know Aaron Carter was a pop singer.
Yeah.
But I don't know what he's up to these days.
Did you recognize Bill Cosby?
Yeah, I did recognize Bill Cosby.
Yeah.
Yeah, he...
What do you got to say about him?
Just,
He's done crimes.
Yeah,
he's a bad
person.
A bad
man. Now we have to get that in there. It's Bill Cosby is a bad man.
Yes,
we all know that.
Did you have any Fat Albert in your childhood?
No, but I would watch the Cosby Show sometimes because it would come on like Nick at Night.
Right.
So I knew what Fat Albert was, and I was aware of the show existing. And I knew what the guy was and what he looked like, but I never watched any of it.
I don't know like where Fat Albert lays in like the. I feel like people know who he is.
Yeah, like he's still like. If you say Fat Albert, someone will go, oh yeah, but no one in the film in North Philadelphia recognized him except for that little nerd kid. Yeah, that was something that got me. It's like no one really recognized. There's a giant poster of them in the video rental store, and then like those two mean kids saw, and they're like, wait a minute, that's those guys.
They like
noticed, they were like, oh, something weird about
Wait
that.
a minute.
Hold on a second.
That guy's fat.
Wait, and his name's Albert? Wait, then they walked by, and that's us.
Yeah.
And we're on Divda.
Right. They don't know what DVD is.
I've been saying Divda forever. I didn't know that they did that in that movie. I've been saying Divda for some time now.
You learned that it's not pronounced that way, that it's actually an acronym?
Huh? No, I knew it was DVD, but I've been saying Divda as a joke.
Oh, you thought you invented the joke.
Maybe not invent, but, you know.
Someone beat you to it.
I guess so.
Cosby did it.
Cosby did it.
Yeah, or he already did it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Fat Albert was a show on Fat Albert and the Cosby Kids.
Yeah.
I don't know if they are Cosby's kids, but they hang out in a junkyard in northern Philadelphia. It came on CBS. It was I guess it got turned down by a network for being too educational.
I saw that, yeah. And it was like aimed towards it's supposed to be aimed toward you know, adolescents, not necessarily kids or like teenagers. It was like kind of like in between.
Yeah, they talk about the racism and gangs and drugs. And I had a lot of these DVDs. I had a lot of these Divdas.
You had some Divdas.
I had some Fat Albert Divdas.
You had the whole collection?
I had a few Divdas. I don't know if it was a whole collection. So that was a regular rotation in when I was a child. But also, Cosby, the Cosby Show.
Because he's your favorite guy.
I mean, he's not my favorite guy. I grew up really liking Bill Cosby.
His stand-up, very funny.
It's kind of, it's just like you can't
deny his stand-up was pretty damn funny. Bad man.
Yeah, terrible
man. That was something that got me, like, because, you know, it tries to teach all these women, like, these lessons and stuff, like, you know, and there was a big one in the movie in particular. It was like respecting women. It's like, who respects women? None other than notorious women respecter Bill Cosby.
Yeah. Gentleman 101.
Yeah, Gentleman 101.
You know, walk on the side of the street.
Yeah.
Where the traffic is, and then make sure to unlock the apartment door for whoever the lady.
Grab the makeshift car
grab
door.
Their keys from them. Yeah, and then
what else? There was a few other ones.
Yeah,
those the dudes were trying to like mess with what was the main girl's name?
Doris Robertson.
Doris Robertson. Like those two mean kids were trying to like mess with her, and you know, Fat Albert, because you know he always he's not just Albert, he's Fat Albert.
Yeah.
But he comes in, and he's like, you don't talk to Doris like that.
You gotta do with me.
You gotta do with me.
And my Cosby Kids.
Yeah, and my Cosby Kids.
I wish he referred them as Cosby Kids. I mean, they were very much like becoming aware of like when they entered the real world, they were self-aware, like, oh, we're from a cartoon show. Even in the cartoon show, really,
they were like talking about like the script and stuff. Script. It was like real. Yeah. It was a real like.
The animators didn't draw me.
Yeah, they didn't draw a face for I don't know any of their names. Dumb Donald.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I wish he referred to the Cosby Kids
as I'm Fat Albert and the Cosby Kids.
So, Fat Albert. cartoon show created by Bill Cosby. We got that out. We got that information set. We're good on that.
Yeah.
The character is based off a real person, Albert Robertson.
Yeah, I didn't know this until I looked at the thing.
He first brought up the Fat Albert character in one of his stand-up albums, and it talks about this movie is like a homage to this real person, Albert Robertson. But the joke is literally like 10 minutes of like, well, when I knew this kid when I was growing up, he was fat as shit. Well, I mean, Cosby didn't swear, but the whole joke was...
He didn't swear.
Yeah.
He was...
But the whole joke is like, he knew this fat guy, and the fat guy was pretty fucking stupid, and he was just fat as shit, and he would just do fat as shit stuff. Like they would play Buck.
Yeah, they were playing Buck.
Which I guess is when all the kids pile up on each other, and then they jump on each other, and whoever falls, whatever team falls first, they lose. He's like, yeah, Fat Albert, he would play Buck, and he was fat as shit, so everyone would fall when he would jump on. And then like one of the stories is like a convoluted story about like a robber running into Fat Albert and like him blocking the hallway because he's so fat. That's just what it's like. Yeah, my dear friend Albert Robertson. What a fat piece of shit
he was.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make this whole cartoon about him and make buckets of money,
right,
off of just exploiting this fat guy.
Yeah, and in the cartoon, Fat Albert is very much he lives a life parallel to Christ. He wants to solve problems and help people, and he's very much, that's like his main, that's the only agency he has in like the world, is he wants to help people.
He's helping solve problems.
And the Cosby kids, all of them are, they'll go along with Albert's helping in the cartoon, but they're all very like ignorant to the situation and dumb as shit.
Yeah.
But then at the end of the movie, it's implied that the whole Cosby kids were based off of more people. And it's like, yeah, in the cartoon, you guys are like dumb as fuck. And I got dumb nicknames for you, like Dumb Donald.
Like Dumb Donald.
Mushmouth. Fucking clumsy ass Harold.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah, when they were showing at the end, I was like, wait a minute, these are real guys?
I don't know if those are all real guys, but...
those were like, it was them. Like, those his real life friends. Those were his real life friends that he like based these characters off of.
And they're not in the slightest insulted?
I guess he cut them in a
Well,
little
at least
bit.
I taught a kid how to not
bully
litter. People. Yeah, litter.
Or bully.
So this movie...
It's bizarre.
Yeah,
it's kind of bizarre. I didn't feel like I was. It felt like a fever dream.
Right.
It was just really odd to watch.
They wanted to start making it sometime in like the 90s.
Yeah.
Cosby wanted to make this Fat Albert movie, and eventually, like the DVD rights got claimed by someone, and that really helped the movie come into existence because, I mean, they have the poster for the DVDs in the movie, and I think that's it. I couldn't really get down to the straight bottom of it, but it was pretty much the DVD re-releases and the movie like coincide each other in some way.
It was just trying to sell more.
Yeah, more DVDs.
Did you know that Kenan Thompson, like he's a bigger guy,
Yeah.
But he gained like 200 pounds to be Fat Albert.
Yeah. What?
Yeah,
he's padding.
No, he gained like 200 or 300 pounds just for that role.
Oh yeah, like he's like Nolan.
Yeah.
Or Christian Bale.
Yeah.
Rather.
Yeah.
Just like gaining and
he gained like 300 pounds for that role. No,
yeah.
I don't think that's true. I think he's wearing a suit.
Yeah. So originally it was supposed to be Fat Albert was originally going to be Omar Benson Miller, who he's now on this. Well, I don't think it's on anymore. CSI Miami. He was like one of the CSI guys.
He wasn't fat enough to do it, so they passed on him.
Yeah. He's like tall. He would be tall Albert.
Tall Albert.
Yeah. And Forrest Whitaker was originally going to direct, but instead it was Joel Zwick.
What other movies has Joel Zwick done?
He does a lot of television, mainly television. He still does television. The most notorious episode I could find, he did a lot of pilots and stuff.
Yeah.
But he did the Full House Disney World episode.
Oh, okay.
That masterpiece of an episode.
That is yeah. He managed to get them to do all 4 parks in a day.
Yeah.
Or 3 parks at a time.
There's the great scene where Bob Saget's dancing in front of the Germany pavilion. Uh-huh. Looks great. There's the terror. Who's having like a panic attack on the whole trip? It's DJ, right?
DJ's having a bad time at
she
the
misses
most
her
magical
boyfriend.
place on earth. Oh, and yeah, she's there at the Indiana Jones thing.
Yeah.
Oh wait, so yeah, it was all 4 parks then. No wait, what wasn't open? Animal Kingdom wasn't open.
Yeah, it wasn't open yet.
What was the boyfriend's name?
It was like Dan or something.
And yeah, and then like she like visualizes the stunt performer in the Indiana Jones thing as him, and she stands up and yells like, "Trevor, no!" Which I wanted you to do that to me when I was the featured extra in the Indiana Jones Epic Stunt Spectacular when we went to Disney World.
You think you would have heard me?
Yes, I would have.
I think we would have been escorted out.
No.
Or like, everyone would applaud, like, yes, the Full House joke.
Yeah.
Yes.
They were like,
Full House.
There would be one guy that would like thought it was hilarious.
Everybody look.
But yeah, you should have had me. Maybe next time.
Yeah, we'll do it next time. Joel Zwick, he also directed a little film called My Big Fat Greek Wedding.
I've never seen that.
It is it's a movie that I was around a lot growing up.
Is it good?
It's a romantic comedy. It's pretty funny. Like
for like what it is, it's just a good.
It's
fun, it's just a fun watch.
It's like there's a big Greek family, and the one daughter's like a loser, and then she meets this guy, and then he's not Greek, and he has like a small family, and the Greeks are like really loud, like Joey Fatone's in it.
Joey
like,
Fat one?
Yeah, and there's like, I snap you like a chicken and stuff like that, There's a hole in this cake, My mom's going, she loves that movie. But that movie was like insane because when think about like any like romantic comedy, like as far as like any like the Adam Sandler shit or whatever. It's just like think romantic comedies. You know how much money My Big Fat Greek Wedding made?
Probably quite a bit.
$368.7 million.
Yeah, probably on like
which is like
a $90 million budget. Probably.
A $5 million budget.
Oh, jeez.
That kind of fucking movie, just a little like 90-minute like romantic comedy. Yeah. That's like $608 million today. Like that shit doesn't like fucking happen anymore. Yeah. Like
that's fucking crazy.
It's so. But yeah, so he had that, and I guess like they were like, who should we get for this Fat Albert picture? Who's gonna really like make this thing?
This home?
Yeah, who's gonna give us the money for the Joel Zwick? He did that Greek picture. Maybe yeah, no,
he knows culture.
Yeah, Fat Albert had a budget of $45 million.
And it made 48.
Yeah.
So it made
$40 million.
So it made
went
$3 million.
Yeah, $40 million went to that junk car.
That's where most of the budget went.
Yeah, and so you got Kenan Thompson in this thing too. Mm-hmm. This was like right when he joined SNL. He joined SNL in 2003, and like before that, after like All Out or All Out, all that and Kenan and Kel and shit, he was like just getting like constantly like rejected from like everything he was trying to do. He even got rejected from SNL once, and eventually I guess he hit, and then
he's still there.
He's still there, yeah. I mean, 2003. I mean,
he's the longest tenured cast member of all time. Is it
all time? Yeah.
He finally made it. I forgot who he was like. He had to beat. There was like 2 people ahead of him, but I guess he surpassed them both.
Yeah.
I haven't watched SNL in a long time, so I didn't know who. I probably wouldn't recognize anyone on there other than him.
Is Kyle Mooney on there?
I thought he quit.
He quit. Okay, then I don't know anybody on there.
Yeah, I don't really know who's on.
Is
there.
Leslie Jones still on there?
She might be.
Okay, well, I know Leslie Jones. Yeah. So, yeah, he
I'm crazy for David Pumpkins.
Kenan Thompson. He's SNL again.
Yeah.
He's Fat Albert. I've watched like interviews with him, and like it's very weird because he's like, you know, he just kind of talks like this, and he's just like, you know, whatever, you know, yeah, we did the Fat Albert.
Yeah, we did Fat Albert.
Fat Albert. You know, we had a lot of fun making it. I'm still proud of it, even though it's kind of like weird to talk about it now. But yeah, he's like really quiet dude. Then you know,
and he's like
one of the. I think he's funnier than Kel.
I would say he's funnier than Kel.
I think he's funnier than Kel. Is that controversial?
I don't think so.
Okay, I feel like because I feel like people quote Kel more as far as like the Good Burger stuff.
Yeah, I mean, well, Kenan was kind of the straight man in the Good Burger.
Like in the movie, yeah, but some of the sketches.
Yeah,
I think,
I didn't watch much Kenan and Kel. I mean, I watched some of all that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember watching much of Kenan and Kel though.
Yeah, this movie. I couldn't find much on the production. There is one story though, and it kind of peeks into why like Forrest Whitaker might have quit early on, and it might have been this stuff with Cosby, because there's a specific story where Kenan Thompson talks about they were rewriting another scene. There's a lot of like rewrites while this was going on, and it was like one of the first times really Kenan Thompson like got to meet Bill Cosby, and he was like doing like when he was a kid and like younger and stuff. He was like, that's how he was kind of getting known, by doing a Cosby impersonation.
That's right.
Yeah,
because he did it on SNL too.
So they go up in some like production office, and Cosby's up there, and you know, one of the writers and whoever else, and they're kind of talking about the scene. He's just like, Kenan's like kind of like, he talks about it, and he's like very like, he seems kind of annoyed, but also like accepting, like, yeah, this is, you know, movies, this is how it goes. You know, he was in the Mighty Ducks. He knows how it goes. Yeah. I think he was the second one, right?
I think it was D2.
So I forgot what specifically brought it up, but Cosby just like looks at Kenan, and he's like, after this movie, you're going to have 2 dicks for all the women after you.
What?
Yeah. It's a quote that he has talked about several times that Cosby has actually said to him. And he was like, I'm thinking about it now, and it's, yeah, like, ugh. Yeah, so, you know.
Jesus.
Yeah, I don't know how to move on from that.
God damn.
Yeah, so that's.
But he had to have been like, how old was Kenan? He was probably like maybe like 19 or 20.
He was probably early 20s. Yeah.
Maybe a little older. But you know,
just and a guy like imagine
he like idolized for like ever, like comes up to you and like says that shit.
Would you imagine if like Carl Alvarez or some shit just came up to you and told you that you had to grow an extra dick?
I would be like, what? Why?
Because the women.
Did you watch it when it came out?
Yeah, I had like the DVD and stuff.
You did say
and,
that. Sorry.
I had the div or whatever. Yeah. So, I mean, that's it. I guess we can like dig into this plot a little bit.
I remember renting it from Blockbuster.
You went out and you sought it out? You were at Blockbuster?
No, I don't remember. Might have been like the guy my mom was dating at the time took me and like his kid to Blockbuster, and we left with Fat Albert. Like, we can get one movie.
And
somehow
I really like that grin Kenan Thompson's
It's like
giving
I really
me. Look at how big he is.
say, hey, why can't we rent Billy Madison again?
One could say that he is fat.
It's like, why can't we rent Billy Madison again? We got to get Fat Albert. It's like, okay. So I guess I watched it once and just blocked it out.
I feel like this, anything Cosby related kind of like lives in the back of my mind in a weird way, just like anything that he was involved in.
Mm-hmm.
And
like the rape?
No, not the.
Oh, you mean the
like the shows?
Oh, the shows and the movies.
I don't, but it like haunts me because of because of the rape and whatnot. And, it's sort of like, God damn it, son of a bitch. Fat Albert. It opens up to Comic Sans in the credits.
Yes, Comic Sans. I'm glad you said that because I noticed it too. Like it's just Comic Sans.
They're going for it,
They were like, whoever makes the opening credits was like, Comic Sans.
It's a bold choice. It kind of looks shittily put on there.
It's like off center.
Yeah,
they just did it in Movie Maker.
Yeah, it looks like. Have you ever tried to, when you try to make like an image like transparent, but it like fucks up a little bit?
Yeah,
and there's like stuff at the edges and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of what it looked like.
There's like some like extra pixels left behind.
Yeah. Does it? Yeah. What is it? The high school. Is that the first thing you see? Or
the first thing you see, it's the cartoon, and then it like they're doing their song about like having a good day or whatever.
Having a good time.
Having a good
Devin.
time. Sorry,
we had a good time.
And then it
and
then it cuts to the high school, and it's like.
Well, can I say something about the animation?
Yeah.
They brought in like heavy hitters for this animation.
The animation looks good.
I think it looks.
I like it. It's
pretty
like
good.
It's a modernized version of what they were like did in the past, kind of.
Yeah. Well, the thing was, interestingly enough, someone, it was like Hallmark or some shit, at the time owned the rights to the original character designs of the Fat Albert and the Cosby Kids.
That's weird.
And so they had to redesign them.
Oh.
It was like a forceful I feel like maybe they would have redesigned it anyways, but that like they actually had to redesign it. But they brought in like basically like the who's who of like major feature film animation, like in the like people who worked on like Disney Renaissance shit, and one name was Eric Goldberg, who was he directed like Hercules and I think what's fucking Pocahontas and shit, and like these big animated films, and he does a lot of stuff in the parks as well, like supervising animation and directing whatnot. But yeah, so I mean, for what it is, I think it looks all right. It could have looked. It kind of. Does it look like it's like wavy to you? I don't know how to explain it.
Wavy? I don't know.
It took my for some reason my eyes had to adjust to it.
I think it could have just used like more frames.
Yeah, maybe that
it
was.
Could have been a little more smoother, maybe. But I just liked how the characters looked and the colors.
Yeah, everything.
And stuff.
Yeah, the colors are good and whatnot. But yeah, so they're singing. We gotta have a good time.
And then it cuts to it cuts to live action right here, and it's the high school, and it's like some like rap song.
What'd you think about the soundtrack in this movie? It's very dated.
Yeah, very dated.
I don't know any of the songs.
Have a lot of thoughts.
I feel like this is like that's like Garrett core.
Yeah.
Essentially just like
those early 2000s like hip hop artists.
Yeah. I was kind of lost on all that. I didn't really bother.
Yeah, I didn't resonate.
It was very in your face, sort of like attention grabbing like stuff. But we're introduced to Doris Robertson, who how would you describe? She's very lonely.
Yeah, she's like lonely, kind of, I guess, an outcast. She doesn't really fit in with anybody. She's on a track and field team. Usually people on the sports teams like have friends and stuff.
She's an athlete.
Yeah, she's an athlete.
But she's declined in her performance as a tracker
fielder.
Tracker fielder.
They're like, she doesn't make friends. She's kind of down on herself about it, but she pretends to not be. She's like, I don't need friends. I don't need anybody. Yeah. And then it's like her and her like foster sister. Which I guess they had to do that for something later on.
Well, yeah, they had, because if it wasn't
a foster sister,
it would be incest.
It would be incest.
Yeah.
So
like weirdly,
I wonder if that was like a last minute thing that someone did. They were like,
hold on.
Someone's like, God damn it.
They're like, what? What was the problem?
It's a sister and
sister. So Fat Albert likes his sister. Fat Albert wants to be in a relationship with the sister of Doris. What's the problem?
Well, we made it so that they said that was their grandfather.
Yeah. Okay. So Doris is Fat Albert's or a replication.
Yeah.
He was inspired by Doris's grandfather, Fat Albert.
Yeah, that's
and essentially, in a weird way, kind of really close to, and he's in the real world. So essentially, he's Doris's grandfather, and he likes Doris's sister. What's the problem? He likes Doris's sister, and he's Doris's grandfather. What's the problem? What? I don't see what the deal is.
Oh, their sisters.
Oh, son of a bitch!
That's his granddaughter too.
You're right. We should make it Doris's dad.
There we go.
Yeah. Now we're talking.
Now we're cooking with grease here.
Yeah, they had to slip in the
foster sister, and they even she had an accent kind of to drive
she was
it home.
Like Fat Albert. Yeah, like that's how she talked.
Gordo Alberto.
Yeah. What was her name? There was Doris Robertson, and her name was Lori.
Yeah, Lori.
Yeah. And
Lori, not Robertson.
Yeah, definitely not Robertson.
Not related.
They're foster
sister. Yeah.
Grandpa. Oh, okay. So it's okay.
So it's okay now.
It's still. I would still probably not be okay with that. That's kind of weird, right?
That's still weird.
If so your family. If you're, let's say your mom and dad brought in a foster kid that you've known since you were a little kid,
and then your grandfather started hitting.
Yeah. And he started every time they kind of
and he's like,
they shared a nice moment together. Your grandfather started breakdancing and said, "I'm gonna get some."
Right.
I feel like that'd still be weird, even though it's only foster.
Foster. Yeah. Still, this the age thing.
Yeah, but Fat Albert. I mean, he only 16, I guess, 17. And he's really fat.
Morbid Albert.
Yeah, so Doris is she's down on herself. She's having a hard time making friends, even though she knows a lot of. I guess she's only friends with her foster sister, and she's bad at running now. And she goes home, and her parents are gone. And she's really sad. So she's like, I'm just gonna put on some Fat Albert.
Yeah, doing whatever.
If anyone could cheer me up, it's Fat Albert.
And so
he's so goddamn fat.
So she turns it on. It's the cartoon that we were introduced to the beginning, and
Fat Albert.
It's Fat Albert
and the Cosby Kids.
Mm-hmm. And she he hears her she's sobbing watching Fat Albert.
Right.
Because
he's in the middle of solving a problem, but he stops because he's like, "Did y'all hear something? Hey! Did y'all see something? Come that way." He rhymes a lot too.
Yeah.
He has to rhyme.
Hey. Yeah. Something that way.
Yeah. And you can see Doris looking in from the sky, sort of like a weird deity.
Yeah.
Something not of their world, but Fat Albert is like, I gotta touch it.
This is Horton Hears a Who.
Yeah.
This is Horton Hears a Who, right?
But the Who's come out of the little dandelion thing. And by the magic of being really depressed, Fat Albert emerges from the television set, and
with the Cosby Kids,
with the whole Cosby Kids, come out with them.
Yeah, so it's we get
Fat
Horton
Albert.
Hears a Who, Into the Ring.
Yeah.
And then
Back to the Future.
Back to the Future. Yes, that's exactly what I was about to say.
There's a lot of rules set in.
Yeah.
They establish. That's a lot of when Albert and Doris in the Cosby. It's so funny just saying the gang.
Yeah, the gang. They're the Buttercream gang too. They solve problems.
Yeah.
They took a lot of influence from everywhere.
Right.
Mr. What was the guy's name? The director.
Who? The director of this, Joel Zwick?
Yeah, Joel Zwick.
Yeah, he's a movie fan, particularly 4 movies.
4 movies.
Yeah.
And one of them wasn't even out yet.
Mm-hmm.
It was just the book.
Right. So there's a lot of establishing of like rules. Like, fucking, okay, everyone can see the gang with Doris.
Yeah.
They're so used to the cartoon world, even though in the cartoon world, it's a show. So you imagine they perhaps have regular lives past the show. Mm-hmm. The one character they're dealing with who has a problem in the cartoon, she must be an actress.
Right.
Because she talks about being on the Jetsons and whatnot.
Yeah, she's like, I was on the Jetsons, I was on Bugs Bunny.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
I was on Bugs Bunny.
She was on Bugs Bunny.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, but is Fat Albert an actor as well? Or I don't understand.
Yeah, there's a lot going on there. And then when they come into the real world, they don't know how things work.
No.
They're like, how do you open this can? Where's the can opener? Uh-huh. And they're like, it's on the top. And then they open it, and then they start making music with it.
Right.
And then she's like, are you going to drink those, or are you just going to stand there with him? She said, well, if someone writes it in, then I'm thirsty, I'll drink it.
Yeah.
They throw that shit. They throw that shit out real quick.
Yeah.
They throw all that, writing, that they're in a TV show. They throw all that out pretty
quick.
It's
really, logically, it's just very confusing.
Yeah. And, the first thing they try to do is you gotta wait for a commercial so you can jump back into the TV.
Yeah.
And they can't.
No, because it's commercial.
Because it's the commercial. And then it was rolling credits at the end.
They couldn't do it then because the letters were in the way.
Yeah.
Or something.
I don't know. And then
I'm thinking about this way too hard. I'm starting to get a headache from it.
Yeah.
Because it's I want to know what Albert does
in his free time
when he's not telling stories for his fans. What happens when the show's over? Do they just cease? Do they just stay still? Well, actually, I don't know. Because they left behind Russell, which was another of the Cosby kids, and he's getting tormented. The whole movie, he's getting tormented by the gang, the rival gang, and they want to take over the junkyard.
And he's like, no, this is Albert's junkyard.
But what's with the actress then? Why is that girl an actress? And they are not acting. They are living in the reality of the Fat Albert, Northern Philadelphia.
I don't know.
It's really weird. And they complain about animators and writers too. I don't know. This is the most puzzling thing about this movie.
It could have just been as easy as we're cartoons. We're not in the real world anymore.
They could have just they could have just
been fine.
Yeah, we're cartoons.
The same thing would have happened.
Yeah,
that's all we needed.
Essentially, they could have
done.
They
were trying to over-explain stuff, I guess, and it just kind of fell flat. They didn't need to do any of it.
You know what movie does this perfectly? Who Framed Roger Rabbit? There's Los Angeles and all these cartoons. They act in these cartoons shows, but they all live in Toonland or Toontown, and they just live there. And then they come to Los Angeles and Hollywood to go to the studios and work.
Right.
And it's they work and stuff, and they're very much committed to their ideals and behaviors and whatnot as a cartoon. And when they go home, they go to their own place in Toontown. And it's just, there's no Roger Rabbit is just, he can't help himself because he's a toon. He's not talking about anyone that's created him. Or they never reference their creators.
Albert meets his creator.
Yeah, Albert does meet his creator, but that's later on. So they're walking around and stuff. what the fuck even happens? They just kind of, a lot of this movie is fun and games in a way.
Yeah, they're just kind of fucking around.
There's like a little bit of story. Albert is there to help Doris because Doris is sad.
Yeah.
She has a problem and Albert is a problem solver. But they'll do like a little bit of story movement, and then it's just like a large chunk of just like fun and games of like, okay, here we like their set pieces are like, okay, we're at this place now. Let's see what the Albert and the gang do at the fucking park, or let's see what they do at a party. Let's see, what they do at a real life junkyard, and shit like that. And
but
it's kind of, it's just
it all kind of just, they don't really, they do anything.
I don't even know because they don't really solve any problems.
Which that was another thing. She kept insisting she didn't have a problem.
No,
she didn't need help, and so they follow her to school. Which I thought she was done with school today, but she had to go. She had one more class.
That's another thing. They just go to class. Is like, here's how Fat Albert and his friends would
react to computer class.
This is how they would act in a modern day high school, and then here's how they would act in a mall.
Yeah, they were in a mall, like it's the classroom. Then she had like practice, track and field practice, and then they went and fucked off.
Yeah,
and then they came back.
Albert's in a race.
Yeah. They go to the track. That's where he meets.
That's where he meets Lori, the foster sister, and he falls in love.
Yeah.
And in the meanwhile,
we meet the bullies.
The bullies, Reggie and his friend.
Yeah.
And Reggie does not like Albert because he's hitting on Lori, and he's also fat, and he hates that.
And he's
about
also
him.
like faster than him in a foot race.
Yeah, they race. Albert's really fast, and
more like fast Albert.
Albert beats Reggie in a race, and Doris is like, "You remind me of somebody." My grandfather was fast.
Yeah. Yeah, they hint at that a lot.
My grandfather was fat as shit, but god damn it, he could fucking run.
My grandfather's name was Albert. And he was giant.
Yeah.
They called him Albert the Giant, dude.
Yeah, Albert, dude. He was so big.
They called him Albert the Giant, dude, because he was bigger, dude.
He was so fat. That's why we called him Fat Albert, dude. Again, then after the track and field stuff, they see themselves on the DVD poster, and they're like, we don't belong here, man. We're cartoons. Did you not figure that out when you went through the TV portal, like into the real world, that you were now 3-dimensional? And and then they're like, oh shit, well, we don't belong here. We're starting to lose color, like Back to the Future, where Marty's looking at
He's got the picture the whole time. And
they're like fading away slowly. And in this, they're just like losing color. And if they don't go back into the TV, they turn into celluloid dust.
Yeah, we learned that.
That's what Cosby explains
that.
it.
But they notice that they're fading, and then they put two and two together. Like, we got to get back into the TV.
Right. They gotta get back in the TV.
And it was they find out they have to wait till 2:30 to the next day.
Right, when Fat Albert's on.
When Fat Albert's on again.
This is 2004,
TV
so there wasn't any. What was there? There was TiVo, right? There was TiVo.
It was TiVo.
TiVo was around,
but I don't think they had it in the Robertson household.
I guess not.
Yeah.
They go to the mall. This is where they go to the mall. Because they got to get clothes because they're going to a party.
Yeah, they made their first attempt at getting Doris friends by saying, "Hey, there's the cheerleaders. They're popular." And then so Albert introduces himself, and they laugh, and it would be very kind of you to be Doris's friend, is what they say.
He really wants Doris to have friends.
Yeah.
He's like, we're going to make you guys be Doris's friends. He says that to a lot of people. Like, we're here to make you people like Doris because she's lonely and sad, and she cries and watches my cartoon show when she gets home.
Which every teenager, that's what I would do.
Yeah, that's
after a long day.
When I got home from high school, I would watch Top Gear.
When I got home from high school before my last class of the day, where I went back to the high school, I'd watch Fat Albert.
Oh yeah, she goes back, right?
Yeah, she left school and then went back.
Yeah.
But yeah, Fat Albert. But they were like, that's very nice of you. They say it sarcastically and say, yeah, we're having a party tonight.
Yeah, you can come.
And then she's like, they tell Doris, and she's like, I hate parties. And then they're like, come on.
You're going to make friends.
You make friends.
This is Fat Albert. You listen to what Fat Albert has to say. Usually people listen when Fat Albert talks.
I'm the law. I am the judge, jury, and executioner.
I am Fat Albert. What I say goes. You're going to the goddamn party.
Gritty Fat Albert.
Oh, like a gritty Fat Albert.
We need a horror Fat Albert.
What would it be called? Fucking Albert.
It would just be called Albert.
Yeah.
And it's just like
he's really fat.
It's the same type of poster of like him being giant, but his eyes are like,
it's
red.
just blacked out. Yeah.
But and then like I can imagine the trailer, like it's like shit, like scary shit happening, and then you just cuts to black, and you just hear, and then it just goes.
I'm gonna make a problem. You look like you got everything figured out, and you're happy. I'm gonna change.
He's tired of solving problems. This time he is the problem.
Gonna have a bad time.
We need to work on this. No one steal our idea.
Yeah, no one
steal gritty Fat Albert. We're gonna make tens of dollars off of this.
Yeah. They go to the mall and they get in shenanigans. There was one particular thing in this. They kind of brought it up a few times. I don't feel like WindleyMania is the show to go into the nitty gritty of like social commentary and whatnot.
That's a different podcast.
It's a different. Thank you. But there was a time. I mean, there still is a time where, especially like later on, I only know like a little bit about this, but Cosby would do a lot of. He would talk very negatively about like African American culture.
Yes,
like
he didn't like it.
Yeah, where like the culture was going, he was very much against it in very like silly aspects, mainly like rap music. And there is a lot of like the Cosby kids complaining about rap music in this.
Yeah, I know.
Fat Albert likes it, which I was very surprised.
Yeah,
that he would let this character like rap music.
Mm-hmm. I guess because it was clean rap in the.
He did do a clean rap.
Yeah, it wasn't like there was no swearing in the rap song they were listening to.
But it's like two of the characters are listening to a song and they're like, "Oh my god! Like there's so much. This is vulgar. You can't say that word.
What kind of singing is this?" And then he's like, "I don't think it's singing. It's talking."
Yeah,
which sounds like a Cosby bit. It's like,
right.
They're not singing in these songs anymore.
I just wanted to point that out, that there's some of that going on in here too, in different aspects, and the whole fucking weird gentleman shit that Albert was trying to do.
Yeah, it's just who knows better,
Yeah, you if you do these nice things, you will get laid.
Right.
Yeah, for sure.
And you don't have to do other things in order to make that happen.
Right. I mean, what? So they jump rope.
Yeah,
they jump rope
in the mall.
Doris and Albert do like jump roping, and they get done jump roping, and she's like, "You remind me of my grandpa used to jump rope, and he was fat as shit, and he could run real fast.
Track and field.
Yeah, you remind me a lot of him." And they go to the party, and it's like a whole block.
Yeah, because it's like the rich kid like party where like my parents aren't home and
Well, I think she said the dad.
No, yeah, the dad had the street blocked off.
The dad had some weird, like he has some power where he can block off a whole street in Philadelphia.
Whole residential street in Philadelphia.
Which, I mean, is he like the mayor or like the treasurer or something? Like what is this?
Clerk of court.
Yeah. He gets it done. Did you see the DJ Viper? He was a DJ with a gold jacket and a big top hat.
Yeah,
he looked very cool. His name was Viper.
Viper.
I I mean, what happens here? They like Reggie, the bad bully kid, wants to embarrass Albert, so he invites him to talk to the people on stage, and Albert goes up there and he raps.
Mm-hmm. And everyone loves it, right?
Yeah, well, it's weird because like Reggie's like, I'm gonna embarrass the shit out of you. All right, Viper, play a song that will embarrass Fat Albert. And then Viper plays the Fat Albert theme song, but with like a little beat to it.
Yeah.
So it's like, I know this song.
This one.
Yeah. And he raps over it. What was it? Big Al makes you feel all right. Shake your body at the party that we're having tonight. I know you want to dance with us. Find a reason to jump around and move your stuff. That's the chorus.
Who wrote these?
I imagine Cosby did.
He was like,
or whoever else. I didn't see who co-wrote it, but I know he had a lot to say. He raps eventually, and then he starts dancing with Lori, and then Rudy really likes Doris.
Yeah.
And then Reggie tries to smooch Doris. It's kind of weird.
I think that's the first instance you leave her alone.
And then Rudy, he's like, you're like a school on Saturday, no class. Yeah, and Fat Albert's like, you have to deal with me and my gang. And then Albert and Lori talk. They go to the park after this, pretty much, and this is like part of where they're becoming like they're getting used to the real world.
Yeah, they start to find out how to adjust,
and they're not acting like the cartoon characters that they are. Harold's not clumsy anymore. He's really good at basketball.
He got real good at basketball.
Mushmouth can talk.
Mushmouth learned how to talk.
We haven't talked about Mushmouth at all.
Oh my god!
What the fuck was that? Are we even allowed to do the voice?
I don't. I'm not gonna do it.
Like that's what he does.
It's like that. Look up I can't even look this up. Look up the Cosby dentist bit. That's the voice.
Well, you could just order Mushmouth clips on
clips.
YouTube. I mean, just like how he talked. Like what the fuck? But this like performance, this very. I don't even want to. It's just. It's pretty touchy feeling. Like what's going on here.
Yeah.
I don't know how to describe it. It's very much.
Are we talking about the park scene with Mushmouth?
I know. I'm just talking about
Mushmouth in general.
Mushmouth in general. Before that, just he's not like his social skills are hindered by his speech impediment.
They can understand him though.
Yeah.
And it's fun. They do a couple jokes where like he like reads something, or they were in a Sam Goody listening to stuff through the headphones, and he was like, "What was that lyric there?" And then Mushmouth says it, and then the other guy says, "Watch your mouth."
Yeah.
So they can understand Mushmouth. And then they're at the park, and
a girl recognizes him. That's
him.
Mushmouth.
Yeah.
Mom, that is Mushmouth. She's like 3 or something.
Mother. And so like he like.
It's my favorite character in fiction, Mushmouth of the Cosby Kids.
He's trying to say balloon and he can't, and he's adding too many buh sounds to it. And she's like, no, it's balloon. And he finally gets it. And then he turns around to the parents and said, "Madam, I really do appreciate that your daughter has taught me a lot. She taught me how to say balloon."
Yeah.
And the mom's like, "Great.
Get away from my daughter."
And he's like, "Don't I tell you about talking to strangers?"
He's not a stranger. He's Mushmouth.
He's Mushmouth. You don't recognize him.
But up to that point, I mean, it's Mushmouth.
Mushmouth. No, he's mouth. He's mouth now.
Yeah, he's mouth now. Dumb Donald goes to the library and reads
23 volumes of African American history.
Yeah, and he's smart now, and he takes off his hat that he wears,
and he realizes that he does have
he's very handsome.
Yeah.
That guy is very handsome.
He's a good-looking man. He never took his hat off because the joke was that he didn't have a face because they never drew him one in the cartoon because his hat covers his whole face except for his eyes and mouth. So they were like, why don't you take that hat off? He said, I don't have a face.
Right.
And then he reads 23 volumes of African American history, realizes that he like 99% probably does have a face. So he takes off his hat and realizes he does. He's delighted that it's a good face.
Mm-hmm. They're all becoming unlike themselves, and Fat Albert, he's instead of trying to solve a problem, he's got 99 problems, and a foster sister is one. You know,
right?
It's a reference to that song.
That is a song.
Yeah. They're all becoming very unlike themselves, and their colors are fading really bad. I mean, what?
Where are we at now?
They go to the fair. Some of the gang goes back. They don't need the rest of the gang anymore, so they send some of the gang back to the TV because Fat Albert comes on TV, and some of the gang goes back. But then, like Rudy, Fat Albert was like, I really want to stay because he really likes Lori.
He's trying to get Lori.
Yeah. And a few others stay. Bill, Rudy, and Mouth stay.
Yeah.
Glad I wrote that
you wrote
down.
It
down. And they go to the fair, and this is where the junk car. And they get in a junk car that Rudy built because they live in a junkyard, so they're very clever with the junk stuff.
They know how to build stuff out of junk.
They play instruments out of garbage.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Pretty talented.
Yeah. I mean, they go to the fair. I mean, the little there's like a little nerd kid who like was like, "Hey, you're Fat Albert," and he's like, "Yeah, how you doing?" And he's like, "You got to go back in the TV. Fucking,
they need you.
They need you, bro." And he's like, "Well, Fat Albert's a little preoccupied right now.
Yeah,
he's thinking
Fat Albert's got pussy on the mind."
Yeah, gross. Why'd you?
Well, because it's true.
I suppose.
And this is where he ends up going to see Cosby.
Yeah,
which I must have missed this.
Well, the little kid says something like, what would Mr. Cosby think? Like, you're not going solving problems. What's wrong with you? And so he's like, yeah, you're right.
And he's like, just found his house.
Yeah, he just walks to Bill Cosby's house.
And then Cosby's like, he's coming down, so he's like, now who could be at the door at this hour?
Yeah,
I'm Bill Cosby. And so like he knocks on the door and he's like, who is it? And he's like, it's Fat Albert. And he's like, yeah, right. He opens his door, it's fucking Fat Albert. Mm-hmm. And I guess Cosby drank the wrong drink because he fell right the fuck over.
Jesus.
He couldn't handle it. He fell. He fainted onto Fat Albert.
Yeah. Fat Albert explains his situation to Bill Cosby, and Bill Cosby's like 100% like he gets it. He knows exactly what's going on somehow.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, you came out of the TV, just crawl back in. Yeah. If you don't, you'll turn into celluloid dust.
He's like, oh, I've seen this.
Did you say
times.
Doris Robinson? Oh my God, her grandfather was my friend. He's dead because he was so fat.
I based you off of him.
Yeah.
Yeah. You heard her crying, you came through the TV, and you ended up in their house.
Yeah.
He like explains like
you got to go back, dude.
Everything that everyone's going, oh, how'd that happen? He's just like, oh yeah, it's because of this, and this. You need to crawl your fat lard ass back into the fucking TV.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go back. And I mean, what is
you haven't? He said like you have until tomorrow.
Yeah.
Or you're going to turn into dust.
Yeah, you gotta go. What? He's just like, has this happened before?
I've seen this 9 times to be exact.
Did like fucking Homer go to Matt Groening? And then Matt Groening was like, hey, Bill Cosby, if you ever see one of your Fat Albert, that cartoon character you made, the fat guy, if he comes to your door, this is what happens. I had to do this with Homer.
They all know.
Yeah.
They've called each other for it.
The rest of the gang go acts on the TV, but Fat Albert's like, I still gotta stay.
I
gotta stay. No reason. Yeah. No. I gotta solve this problem.
Yeah, the rest of them go back, right?
Yeah.
The next day.
Yeah.
At this point, they're all pretty faded.
Yeah, and Fat Albert is very weak.
Yeah.
He
gets very weak.
He can't run. He can barely walk. And he goes. He wants to go cheer on Doris at the track.
This is a track meet. Oh wait, this is when he tells foster sister.
Oh, he tells Lori that he's a cartoon character, and she's like,
"You're bullshit.
You men,
you men are all liars.
You know how many men have told me they're cartoon characters and they have to go back in the TV? Nice one, Albert. You need help."
Exactly.
Yeah. And he's like, "Oh, hey.
Bye.
Yeah, then they go to the track meet, and Fat Albert's like, run real fast, and she does, and she wins.
Yeah, he's running alongside her, so he can still run.
He can run a little bit now. Yeah, I think that was all the gas in the tank.
That was all he had left, because he was like winded at the table, and he was like, I can't move so good on account of my diabetes.
I don't know. Did he have he didn't know. He mentioned that he didn't know what was underneath his clothes.
I think that was also like a joke, like the same way
the animation thing.
Yeah, because the same thing as the guy's hat. Which, oh yeah, when he jumps back in the TV, he doesn't have his hat on, so he's just floating eyes.
Yeah, I think maybe because in the cartoon, Bill Cosby describes Fat Albert as 2,000 pounds, and I think perhaps that if the character in the real world took off his clothes, like the blubber and fat and everything that is him would just expand and like
it would just
probably kill people nearby.
Right.
That's 2,000 pounds.
That's a lot of man.
Yeah. So I think that's it. That it's just like stuffed in there, real neat and tidy. Yeah.
Yeah. Kenan Thompson had to gain 2,000 pounds for that role.
Yeah. He wanted to. He did a lot. He did his research. He's like, 2,000.
2,000 pounds.
That's a lot of honey buns.
Those are like the iced honey ones with the extra.
Yeah. So what they take him back to the house, and he goes back in the TV, and he solves. He continues to solve the problem that he was originally trying to solve, until Doris started crying, and then he's like, "Oh, I get it now. We all learned something today." I don't know what the lesson was.
I don't know
because all I saw was like a recreation of a grandpa trying to fuck their foster grandchild.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we missed the part where they helped to get him home, and so they put him on a skateboard.
They throw him on a skateboard,
and he like crashes into everybody.
Yeah, he's fat.
He's fat.
Fat Albert. Yeah.
So yeah, that's well. So yeah, he goes back in the TV, and like, yeah, it's about caring about somebody and knowing that they care about you too, even if they're far away. And he looks at the TV because he's looking.
I'm talking about you, Lori.
I'll never forget you, Lori.
Lori,
crawl on the TV. Come give Albert a big fat hug.
We missed. So Doris says to the last thing Doris says to Albert is like,
"You remind me of my grandfather."
Yeah. She says like, "I feel like I've known you for a long time," and he's like, "Yeah, you have."
I'm your granddaddy.
Your grandfather.
And there's the funeral scene. They just randomly go.
Yeah, well, it was like they were just visiting the gravesite.
Our Fat Albert, his tombstone says.
And it shows Cosby with like I guess the real Cosby kids, because it said they were based off of like people he grew up with, and he just exploited them for his own monetary gain, and made them all fucking stupid as shit. He's like, hey, these are my stupid friends that I made into cartoons and made a lot of money off of. And it shows like them, like it pans across all of them, and then it shows like the cartoon version and like the portrayal in the movie of like each one.
Yeah, in case you didn't get it.
In case you didn't get it. In case you just didn't. It's just like, over your head.
You're looking like, why are they showing all
Why are
these
they
random
showing
old
these
black
old
guys? I was like, oh, that one's Mushmouth.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, the one in the hat's the guy with the hat. The tall one's the tall one.
Oh, I get it.
Yeah.
They should have done like a camera pan back around to the tombstone and went like the camera goes through the ground and they show like the remains,
decomposing.
the remains of their Fat Albert, and he opens his eyes like, hey.
And it's like there's a sequel, and that's where gritty Fat Albert he comes back.
Yeah,
he comes
he's a
back. He comes back
corpse.
from the dead,
Yeah.
and he
Why'd you make fun of me?
tortures everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man, dude, we gotta make gritty Fat Albert. We gotta make it.
We
Any
have
film
to?
executives out there listening to this?
All right, get this. It's Fat Albert, but it's dark. It gets dark.
Dark.
Murder.
Yeah, he's dark.
And
Not
it
just 'cause he's
rains.
black,
Oh,
but he's-
Devin.
But no, it's dark. It's a dark movie. It's like,
It's like the Batman.
yeah.
Yeah. And people, and then Bill Cosby's Twitter followers come out from the shadows and attack Fat Albert.
Would Kenan Thompson be reprising his role as evil Fat Albert?
That's a good question.
Do you think he'd come back to this role?
I mean, he talks about that. He's like, yeah, we had a lot of fun making the movie. I'm still proud of it. So, I mean, maybe.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'll do Fat
I guess if
Albert.
Cosby's not attached to it, which he wouldn't be, you know?
Right.
Like, I don't know who's in charge. Who's in charge of his like shit?
I don't know.
You didn't look into this?
No.
Well, we got to figure this out if we're gonna make it.
Are we going to buy the rights to Fat Albert?
Nah, we can just kind of like, just use it and like not call it that, but you know what it is.
We'll call it out.
Just call it Al.
Ow. AL. This is stupid.
This is stupid as shit.
All right. The movie, I mean,
It's a movie.
it doesn't, I mean, especially with everything that has happened since, I mean, sure fucking doesn't hold up.
Not
I
at
feel
all.
like the relationship of the cartoon characters in the real world, all that logically just was a fucking mess.
Yeah. You might have thought this episode was a mess, us explaining it. Well, the fucking movie was a mess.
Yeah.
And it didn't feel like it felt real uncomfortable to watch for some reason. Maybe it's because the guy behind it.
There's that too.
It
Yeah.
just felt real weird. It felt like a fever dream.
Yeah.
I mean, Kenan Thompson's good.
Yeah. I mean, he shows up. He's fat.
He does
says,
the
hey,
job.
hey, hey.
He says hey 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 like 600 times.
Yeah.
You know, he does it. It's what you're supposed to do if you're Fat Albert. You say that.
Mushmouth sings George Benson. That was pretty funny, I thought. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like Fat Albert one day I think is going to be like completely forgotten.
Yeah.
And it's just going to be like I feel like maybe like 20 years there's just going to be like some like dork kid who's like obsessed with like weird shit. He's like, oh, did you know this fucking rapist had this weird ass cartoon and then they made this weird ass movie? Weird.
And then they're going to do a podcast about
Kids? Yeah. Probably a whole series.
it. Yeah.
So,
But yeah,
I
spent $4 that I'll never get back.
how is yeah, there's nowhere you got to rent it
You got to rent it on Amazon Prime.
or whatever, you know.
I was going to like search for it, but I was like, I just need to get this over with. You watched it in 1.5 speed, you said?
About halfway through I was like I
I don't know how you made it like that because it's just like,
it was really it was kind of weird.
why'd you do that? Were you just trying to?
I wanted to end it.
Trying to get through it.
I wanted to end it. I was like, I can't fucking do this. And it's not a long. It's only an hour and a half.
Yeah, it's an hour and a half.
But it kind of feel. I mean, I was like, you know, it felt forever.
I don't think they even did anything. in that movie.
There's not really a lot going on.
They didn't do it. It was just a lot of fucking around. They're just, going to have a good time.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Fat Albert. So yeah, we're gonna do this a couple more times with some live action movies. I felt like I went into this thinking that, this bizarre movie, but now I kind of just feel gross.
Yeah.
When you really just sit down and think about it and just feel gross. So hopefully the next couple ones we don't have this like disgusting. I love starting it out like that, just gross, disgusting.
Yeah, this one was. I'm glad we got this one out of the way, and I'm glad I don't have to watch it ever again. And I'm not going to.
I don't think I'm ever going to do it again. No.
I want my $4 back, Mr. Amazon.
Yeah. So.
Can you get refunds? Like, if you do they have a quality guarantee? Like I didn't like it. My money back.
Bad movie. I didn't like it. I didn't have a good time.
I'm just gonna start doing that because every product has that on there. Quality guarantee. Like you don't like your money back, just call them. Yeah, dear dicks at Ritz Crackers. I didn't like them. I ate every bit of them.
I thought you were gonna call me like, I rented Fat Albert.
I rented Ritz Crackers. I rented Fat Albert.
Oh, I thought you were on Amazon.
Yeah, I was just talking about any product.
Oh, I see.
But I call like an Amazon shipment center.
Hey, do you want to know the movies? Oh, this movie came out on Christmas Day.
Yeah.
Do you want to? It came out. It debuted number 3. Do you want to guess the 2 movies above it?
Christmas 2004.
Yeah.
I can't even think of what came out in 2004.
Number 1 was a sequel to a family comedy that has like 2 like classic actors, one like comedic actor that it's kind of based around.
Oh, is it one of the Fockers movies?
Yeah, and Meet the Fockers.
Yeah.
And then number 2 was a children's film based off a book series. And it stars a comedic actor.
Oh, Series of Unfortunate Events.
Yeah.
I read all those.
Yeah.
I loved those books. I liked that movie too, and I thought they were gonna do more, but they did like the
show.
They did the Netflix series with Neil Patrick Harris,
right.
And I thought that all those were really good too.
Right on.
Yeah.
So
I'm a good guesser.
Yeah,
that's my
good.
prize.
Maybe we could do that for the rest of the other movies.
Huh?
We can do that for the other movies. Maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
See if I can guess them.
Yeah. WindleyMania. That was it. I'm sorry if this is kind of a bummer.
Yeah.
Because Bill Cosby.
If you skipped this one, I don't blame you.
Yeah.
But
the next 2 ones I think are going to be really fun.
These will be fun.
Yeah.
We got some people coming on to do these other 2.
Yeah.
Just gotta get those going.
Yeah.
Do I talk about the shows?
If you want.
I don't know if anyone's listening to this, but we are playing 2 shows Halloween weekend. If you made it this far, come see us in Greensboro, North Carolina at ETC GSO, etc.
What?
That's what their handle is etc.gso. But I think
what is it? Where is it?
It's etc. in Greensboro.
Is it a venue?
It's a venue. It's like a DIY space.
Okay.
You
just give us address. We drive there. Here we go. Okay,
yeah.
Here it
and
is.
Then there's the Rowan Skate Park in the Fayetteville, North Carolina.
That'll be cool again.
On October 28th, Greensboro, 29th, Fayetteville. And that's what we got for October.
Yeah, that was a cool little place. I like
that place a lot. I'm excited to be back.
Yeah. And I guess for more Windley crap, follow at Windley_band on all the social medias. Have a good time. No.
No. Hey.
Bye. I'm wondering if I should start with like a hey.
You should.
You think so?
Yeah.
What I feel, obviously, the first thing people hear is just like,
maybe not.
Yeah, I feel like you start it, it's like, oh, jeez. Because they don't know what's. I mean,
Yeah.
you want to do it?
No, I don't like it.
Yeah.
Did we get a? Nah, we'll talk about that.
Okay. So I guess I won't do hey hey hey.
If you can do whatever you want. If you think people are gonna turn it off as soon as they hear it, then maybe don't do it. Well, we will do one. We should both do one, but maybe not start the episode with it.
He says it a lot.
He says it. Did you get a count on how many times he said it?
No.
I thought about
You
it.
do it, and then
He does it
times
a
3.
Yeah.
That's how many times he says hey.
Yeah. He does it. He says it a lot.
Cosby says it too. Yes. Hey hey hey.
Now, Albert.
Yeah. Okay.
Nah, I got a couple Cosby things.
Oh yeah. I mean. All right. Let's go ahead and start.
Yeah. Just push play.
Yeah. Oh, I started recording.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Oh.
Welcome back to WindleyMania. My name is Andrew, and with me, as always, is Devin's best.
I'm glad you fucked it up. I'm kind of tired of you calling me that.
I wanted to start over. I'm starting over.
I'm glad you fucked it up. No, keep it going.
Okay. I can't.
Keep it going.
Okay.
We're doing it. What are we here for
Please
today?
let me restart.
Okay, we can restart.
Welcome back to WindleyMania.
It's your first day.
I can't do it.
Why can't you do
I just
this?
got done watching this movie.
It's a movie.
Okay. All right.
It's not-
Here we go for real this time.
Okay.